Hey, it is September the 26th, 2018. I'm shooting this brief video because I don't have all that much time. I got different stuff to do before I go to work and stuff like that. But this is imperative, I guess, some stuff that I wanted to share with you in case if you didn't see it. And we're talking about over the past couple of days, breaking news. Number one, the man, Joseph Callan, if you're not subscribed to him, I don't know what to say. All right, but go ahead and subscribe to him. I'm gonna leave a link below. He made about a 50-minute long I don't know, you call it documentary. I don't know. It was pretty long, and of course he's been putting out juicy tidbits all over the place. Very well known for it. Joseph Callan. It's gonna be the first link below, but. I want to let y'all know, of course, I'm pondering things. I'm looking at all sort of things. I got all sort of stuff in the works, and just with in time's coming out. But today, I was looking forward to, and I heard about yesterday. I was looking forward to an interview, and I've seen almost all of it. All right, I'll say it's about an hour long or something like that. It's between a YouTube channel by the name of Lift the Veil, which is pretty popular. It's been around for a while, and I've been, subscribed to it for a while. The guy from Lift the Veil, I forget his name, he interviewed Mr. Wolfgang Halbig, who I've been talking about for a while. All right, I want to talk about the background of how I became familiar with Wolfgang Halbig in a second, but they had an interview. It's pretty interesting. All right, and if you know who Wolfgang Halbig is, you're pretty much already knowing what they're going to be discussing. All right, the inconsistencies in regards to Sandy Hook. All right, so they're discussing those sort of things, and they also delve into Alex Jones, which is absolutely necessary. It's definitely what people are thinking about. All right, so they start talking about it. And, Wolfgang tells his little story. And the thing is, I have no reason to disbelieve him and what he's saying. And he pretty much talks about basically recently being snubbed by Alex Jones. More particular, his lawyer. All right, and he'll get into it. You can see that whole thing. I think it's very crucial. It's extremely crucial when in consideration of this Parkland case. You might say, well, Wolfgang's talking more about Sandy Hook. Well, Sandy Hook and Parkland go hand in hand like you wouldn't believe. All right? Even people from Parkland and stuff bring up Sandy Hook all the time. Sandy Hook and Parkland are mentioned in the same sentence over and over and over and over again. And you can understand why. All right? So Wolfgang, he says, well, basically I've been snubbed by Alex Jones. Makes you think, what the heck is Alex Jones up to? He must be up to no good. He's not telling the truth, or he's trying to avoid some certain stuff. That is possible. I gotta say, everything is on the table. Everything is on the table. That's a possibility, right? Me and my personal perspective, my gut instinct tells me that for whatever reason, Alex Jones's attorneys are not properly relaying the message. Maybe they are, but my gut instinct is telling me that they're not. Either A, because they have reason to not believe Wolfgang Halbig, these lawyers, or B, they're just so busy, I guess if you will, that they don't understand the gravity of the testimony that Wolfgang Halbig brings. I have no idea what's going through the minds of Alex Jones's attorneys. I don't know who they are to begin with. I don't know if they shared the information with Alex Jones or if they haven't. All right, my gut instinct is that they haven't. All right, if I had to guess, they blew it off simply because they didn't know any better, and that's not good. Or maybe they blew it off because certain attorneys of Alex Jones exactly don't have his best interest in mind. There's a whole world of possibilities. At this particular moment, Wolfgang Halbig does not have much trust for Alex Jones. Trust in these sort of complex games is lost very easily, and sometimes it's regained, you'll notice. It's very much like professional wrestling. All right. I would love specifically to hear Alex Jones's words and his comments about what Wolfgang Halbig had just said. And I think that his commentary on the situation should prove to be crucial. Of course, Alex Jones is going to want to play it safe. Alex Jones is on all sort of crucifixes right now. All right, definitely being banned from all sort of conglomerates all over the place. All right, so he does have to play it easy. Yet and still in America, I believe it's his constitutional right to talk a little bit about what Wolfgang is saying about him right now. I think it's crucial. I want to hear Alex Jones talk about it. He probably will soon. And, things will develop further in that regard. Okay. But like I said, the Sandy Hook thing is crucial in consideration for our Parkland investigation. And Wolfgang Halbig is mentioned as much, and he has talked about the Parkland situation. Meanwhile, over there in the Parkland situation, things get wilder and wilder, and all sort of articles are being written that will blow your mind, and probably have already blown your mind. There's been articles that I haven't even shared yet because I'm, running behind a little bit. All right, I wanted to bring that to y'all's attention. I believe this information will prove to be absolutely crucial and that everybody needs to know about, and that's why I talked to you about it today. And also, like I said, that Joseph Callan went ahead and put it all up in everybody's faces. He's got all sort of footage, and guess what? I got all sort of footage that he didn't even put up. All right, and guess what? There's other people like a Mr. Davis out there, and all sort of other people who got all sort of footage and evidence and documents and articles and stuff that I haven't even seen. You know what I'm saying? We're swimming in an ocean of questions that don't have no answers. All right? People are talking about putting young people like Nicholas Cruz to death, and we don't have no answers. All right? I'll holler at y'all September 26, 2018. I appreciate y'all. Y'all, also, I want to throw this in there before we get out of here, especially in regards to the Parkland case. If you're concerned about the Parkland case, I do have to mention that the last 5 minutes, in particular, of the interview between Lift the Veil and Mr. Wolfgang Halbig, they very much talk about Parkland. So you would want to be watching that part especially. And I do want to mention that Lift the Veil has legitimate concerns about Alex Jones, all right? He's not acting all wackadoodle and stuff like that. I totally understand why Lift the Veil would be concerned, and I think those concerns are legitimate, all right? I do want to state that, but at the same time, before we get out of here, I do have to explain that there is credence, for sure, to exposure. For example, a little while back, people were wondering why Joe Rogan wasn't having Alex Jones on his show. All right. This was after Alex Jones got banned. They thought, well, Joe Rogan should have Alex Jones on his show because they're friends. But at the same time, you really have to understand, or at least consider, that Joe Rogan doesn't need to have Alex Jones on his show anymore because he already did. Right? He already broke that rule or whatever and gave Alex Jones a lot of exposure, for sure. Absolutely he did. There's credence to exposure like Joe Rogan already did. And with that being said, the first time I ever heard of a Wolfgang Halbig, the first time he ever entered my radar was through the Alex Jones show. That's how I heard about him. And if I hadn't heard about him through Alex Jones, shoot, who knows if I would have ever heard about him? Who knows? All right? Who's to say? But that's where I heard about him first. And so that's needed to be regarded as well. All right? Exposure deserves some sort of credit, some sort of credence. And I think that Alex Jones deserves that credence for bringing Wolfgang Halbig onto the scene in the first place. All right? That being said, Alex Jones does need to explain himself and how he feels about Wolfgang Halbig. That is very necessary. And that should be expected very soon. I'll let you know. I'll holler at y'all, and I appreciate y'all. Y'all holler at me. You let me know. And I'll holler at y'all a little bit later.